I don't understand the hype of the show personally.
Yeah.
I think it comes down to I don't know what I'm expecting on anime. I think I'm looking for something in anime that gets me excited. But I think I don't know. I'm starting to think maybe anime is not for me at this stage in my life because I've been trying. I mean, I've been trying. I've been watching a lot of anime.
Yeah.
I'm trying to really like get into what's popular now and try to understand what's like the why it's like the most popular geek medium now of pop culture.
You got to realize like all those people, quote unquote, that might be making it the most popular thing are probably, they're not in your generation anymore.
Right?
You know what
yeah,
I mean?
they're
So
like
that's
a
something to
lot of latecomers. I think like the next like whatever gen,
probably
whatever.
like teens,
Yeah.
maybe early 20s are probably the ones
Yeah.
putting this over the top. Probably
As much as I think of myself as a person in the 20s, still I am not in my 20s. I'm pretty far from my 20s now. I think, at this point. So
just like mentally is the thing.
Oh,
which is
the
maturity level. Well, no. I take that back. I don't want to necessarily say maturity. That's not the right way to think of it necessarily. But unless you want to say like maturity in the sense that you're more seasoned. You know what I mean? It's one of those things like someone that is, 70 has seen and done a lot more than someone, hopefully anyway, that's someone who is 40. And then someone's 40 who has seen and done a lot more than someone who is 14. Right. So there's just different levels.
Yeah. I think that's a big part of it because I loved anime like in elementary, junior high, and a lot of high school. I was really into anime, and then I think I just got tired of it. I think the last thing I watched was Fairy Tail, and I was like, this isn't exciting. This isn't as good as everyone's saying it is.
Right.
And then I stopped watching anime for a really long time.
Man, I called Fairy Tail out like when I read the manga and I was, there's nothing wrong with it. I read a lot of the manga.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, this is clearly just, One Piece and Naruto.
Merged.
Yeah. The character looks like Luffy. He, is, his, like in one of the very first, like the first episode, or at least of the manga, like he does like a fire technique that looks like, like an Uchiha technique. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I know where you get that from.
Yeah.
Carry
on though. I'm sorry.
No, I think now I was not impressed with anime at the time. I was like, okay, I think I'm kind of done with this. And I discovered comic books and I got really into comic books, right? So I think it'd be the same as somebody like discovering comic books now, like at this point for the first time, and being like, "Oh, comic books are the most amazing thing in the world."
Yeah.
When like I don't read as many comic books now because like I don't think they're as good as they were at one point. Some of them are, with exception, but like the main DC and Marvel stuff isn't great in my opinion.
Yeah.
So it's like it's kind of like that, like coming to it later. The bar is a lot lower, I think. So I think a lot more people came to anime later. And maybe the bar was a little bit lower at the time people started coming into it. Not even the bar is lower, but they just weren't exposed to it for as long as the rest of us were, I think. Maybe.
Yeah, that might be a better way to. Yeah, that's a good way.
Not
to
even
think
that. I
of
think
it.
because there are some really good animes that I think people really like, but I've seen it before, kind of, quote unquote.
Yeah, I honestly think that's what it is. Like I was saying earlier, like when you've watched anime for a number of years, you start to be like, I've seen that thing before, and like you can kind of laugh at it, like, oh hey, that's like that. But once it gets down to like number 12, 13, 14, it's like I've seen this a lot. Like this is okay. Here's a new anime. I bet they're gonna do A, B, and C, and sure enough, they do A, B, and C. So it's not as exciting, or entertaining if you know what's gonna happen.
So the point being, when it came to this show was different in a lot of ways, a pretty original concept.
I think so.
In some ways.
Yeah.
But then like there's parts where like, okay, so Okarun gets the demon's abilities and he becomes kind of a demon character. And now he uses demon's powers to fight other demons. I was like,
so now he can fight.
Which other shows, if I were to say this kid in high school gets demon powers and he fights other demons, which anime is that?
You
can throw
how much time we got?
You can throw 10 or 20 of them to the wall right now. You know what I mean? And then that's what that show is.
Yeah.
So it's like it's kind of like that kind of stuff. Just like it's
and that's not. I mean, for all the people like right now that are listening, that's not literally like he. You know what I mean? It's an example of a character being exposed, getting powers. blah blah blah. Don't take it like verbatim.
Yeah, like you guys did with our other anime episodes. Like, man, people still hate our freaking. I mean, they took our Mushoku Tensei one like literal face value.
Yeah.
And I was like, nah, man, we got to
read a book, man. It's Sigmund Freud. You know, it's don't take it so effing literally. You know, like he was trying to, you know. Everybody literally wants to kill their father.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like, no, not literally. You want to usurp your father. Read between the lines.
Yeah. Think a little bit.
Think a little bit. Don't be afraid.
Think in your ears, man.
And I'm not. I feel like our regular fans probably get this, but if you're maybe happen to be new,
they're gonna come into a part where it sounds like we're just trashing.
Yeah, everything. And it's not. Yeah,
it's not at all,
and we actually like that show. It's a good show.
Yeah, but, that's the other thing is that and there's no way. It seemed like there was no way for them to understand that we actually did like the show. Yeah, they were just like all they saw was that one thing we said.
Right,
like,
and that's what you latch on to. That's what people do.
So they're probably gonna latch on to this one thing that I'm saying about Dandadan, but. I think I went in knowing it was well regarded and very popular, and I was trying to really understand what made it so different from everything else and what made this next big thing. When there's a lot of similarity, not a lot, but there's some similarities. It's an anime. It's for sure an anime because it fits in the anime category with anime tropes, the humor, and the characters getting abilities and using them. To fight demons and aliens. Aliens are a little bit different, but similar in that regard. So I think. The show is cool, and I did enjoy it. I laughed in a lot of areas, but I think there was it fell short of what I was thinking. Like every time I hear the next big thing, it's like, oh, this is original. This is gonna set things apart. It's gonna be the next new big thing, and it's like, oh, it's kind of different, but not really. You know what I mean? So I think it might just be where I am with anime. Sure. I think at this point, I think I'm just kind of losing a little hope that I'm gonna like really love anime again, like I did when I was in junior high. Yeah. But. Yeah, it was like that kind of stuff. Just I couldn't get super excited. Like there was no like hair on my no goosebumps, no hair on stand up on my arms when I was watching the show. It was just like it was like a casual watch to me. Yeah,
I think I understand where you're coming from. I'm gonna say that for me, it was different enough for me to enjoy it a little bit more, taking all that into account. You know what I mean? Like normally if I start seeing all if you do A, B, C, and D, you're like everything else, you're boring, I'm done kind of thing. I feel like this show was different enough, or at least it brought up some different elements enough for me to be able to enjoy it a little bit more. Or maybe I just hadn't seen, again, like this teen angst kind of stuff in a while, so I was able to watch it and laugh at it, and they do it in a joking manner. It's that awkward high school-ness, but they do it in a funny manner. Like it's so extreme that you're going to be in the middle of school on top of a girl, and you're both like practically naked. Yeah, you know what I mean. So everybody kind of sees, and blah blah blah, and whatever rumors. I don't know, whatever. So yeah, it obviously it's very extreme, but I don't know, it's you laugh at it. It's kind of silly. It's campy. It's over the top. There's no way something like that's going to happen. Yeah. But they kind of poke fun at it. So I hear everything that you're saying, but for what, I don't know, I think for that reason, maybe because I hadn't seen anything like this in a while, I was able to actually enjoy it. And I think, and it always helps too that you're able to like the characters. I do like, Ken, Takuru, whatever his name was, whatever they called him. I do like that he was like this nerdy character, but at the same time, he also, kind of stood up for what he believed in. You know what I mean? And I mean, the only thing he believes in is UFOs, basically. I mean, well, he believes in, yokai and demons now, but that's the hill he's gonna, die on, kind of thing. So when someone starts talking about UFOs, he's gonna jump in and he's not gonna back down. Yeah. So I like seeing a character like that, not a character that's just like a complete wimp. Which, some characters, some people may be, which is fine. I did like seeing that it made him feel more real. You know what I mean? Like, okay, he's small and he's weak and all this kind of stuff, But if you start talking shit about something he likes, he's going to get in your face about it, kind of thing. Yeah. So I did like that. So, yeah, I guess my point is I hear what you're saying, but I was still able to enjoy the show a little bit more because it maybe they didn't do it so much. It was a little bit different. I think that helped for me.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah. The other negative, I don't. You might agree with me on this one, but how this season ends.
So weird.
Yeah, I know that we have. I don't know. Is it both of us that has issues with like major cliffhangers, or depending on the type of cliffhanger it is, or was it me? I don't remember, but
I don't remember.
Like, so
I feel like it might be
more me, but there's certain cliffhangers like that I think are cool. I think like I don't know. I don't have a good example now, but like I feel like a good show. If you're ending a season of a show, like you have to resolve one part of that.
Yeah, because we talked about this with House of the Dragon. Like you didn't like how season 2 ended. You thought
it ended similar to season 1.
Yeah, you thought it didn't really. You thought it didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, it didn't really progress much.
Yeah, or not enough, or whatever. Yeah,
not enough in my opinion.
Sure.
But there's like I don't know, like what's a good Back to the Future Part 1 that ends on a cliffhanger. In a sense, right?
Yeah.
But it resolved the story within that movie. Like the story was, hey, I accidentally screwed up.
That's true. Yeah, they resolved their story. Yeah.
My parents didn't ever meet. I screwed it up. I gotta fix that. I fixed that.
Right.
Hey, but also at the very end, it's like, oh, something in the future.
Now something else is about to happen.
The future is messed up that we need to go fix. Yeah. And that's how it ends. Like that sets up the next movie. That's fine to me because that's a whole other thing, and they resolved the story A essentially.
Yes, 100%. Yes.
This like literally ended like in the middle of a thing. Like it was literally like
it was super weird.
Yeah, like she's getting held underwater by these ghost pervert monster things.
Yeah.
And then what's happening with they bust that wall open and find another room.
Yeah.
With a bunch of I don't know what are those like the
little
blessing curse things or whatever those are. Yeah. And then she's
talismans,
whatever those are. And then she's literally drowning, being held underwater, and that's the end of the season. Like that's the middle of a thought.
Right.
That's like saying today I'm gonna go to. In 6 months, you'll know where I went. You know what I mean?
Like, what the hell?
That was like a very abrupt ending. Like, this is one of the most abrupt endings to a season I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like, it's not.
This might be like it doesn't make any kind of sense. There's no end. There's no ending.
Yeah,
there is no ending.
There's no ending. There's no resolution to anything.
Yeah.
In this season, and I had a problem with that. I think for the most part, I'm okay with cliffhangers.
Yeah.
If there's some kind of resolution, like a minor resolution within that season, Because if you're gonna release something as a season, you set some things up, and you resolve some things, but you let some things keep going because that's how a season works, right?
Right.
But if there's no resolution at all to anything, and you just end on the middle of a thought, and then you're like, okay, we'll get to it next time. Like that, it felt very like, was this planned? Is that how they planned it, or
right?
And
that's the thing. Like, it doesn't feel planned at all because when you're in the middle of saying a sentence or whatever, and then all of a sudden you stop and you just get up and walk out of the room, it's like, the hell's happening right now?
Yeah.
I'm under the impression, I have not done any research into this, but and again, I was kind of making the joke earlier. It felt like they were working on the show. Somebody pulled a fire alarm. They got up and left. And they just kept going. They never
just never came back.
Just never came back to work. Yeah. Like somebody is on the phone, like, come back to work, and they're like, no.
Yeah.
Come back to work. No.
Yeah.
So it's the way it ends, like it makes no sense. And I shouldn't say there's no way it's intentional. The only thing I can think of is that this is all they were able, or maybe they're all they could afford to do, they were able to do, and they just left it there. Like, we'll come back to it, when we come back to it, or the season's not over, but this is all we can do. I almost feel like it's almost more. I feel like it's a little more acceptable in anime because there's so many animes that are just kind of. Well, nothing ends like this one ends. I've never in my life seen anything that ends like this.
Right.
Because I was like. because I was telling you, like, I was texting you, like, I don't think the season's over.
The show's over yet. Yeah.
And you're like, no, it's 12 episodes. And I'm like, are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Really?
Yeah. Because it made me see, because how it ended here, that just made me seem like it could have ended in any of these episodes. Yeah. Because it didn't matter. Like, all the episodes were like 2-part or 3-part episodes. Like, it could have ended on any one of those.
Right, yeah.
And it would have been like, oh, okay, well, that's where we're ending. Like, could have in the middle of the high school. When high school floods with water. Oh, shit, okay.
The end.
That's how it ends. We'll
back.
see you in 6 months.
What the hell?
Like, what the
it's more, it's just like they put your finger in your eye and they never took it out. It's like just leaving it there.
Yeah, because to me, it seems, and I'm not sure, but it seems like you were saying that maybe the studio was like, we're gonna give you guys 12 episodes and let me see what you guys can do, and we'll approve you for another 12.
And they're like, fuck, let's just do the first 12 episodes.
Yeah,
like, should we try to like tell an arc? Like, nope, do the 12 episodes.
And let's wow everybody with these 12 episodes, and there's no way they can say no to the next 12.
Yeah.
They're gambling. Like, we're banking on this is gonna be so good that it doesn't matter where we end it. They're gonna give us money to finish it. Kind of thing.
Which, if that's the case, then I give them mad props for it, because clearly it worked. Because at least I don't know how it's,
as they say in the show. Yeah,
right. Yeah, that poor kid looking for his nut. He's all my nut. Stop saying that, guy. Yeah, if that was their gamble, if that was it, then man, just like you said before, chef's kiss, because you nailed it, because it's popular in America. I don't know how popular it is in Japan. I feel like it's popular in Japan. That's the reason why it's probably here. It's popular there, and they brought it over here. At least, I mean, it made it to Netflix of all places. Yeah. If they did it, then good for them. Good for them. And you know what? And I will give them props, if that's the case, that they didn't decide to say, okay, so let's say they need let's just say another 6 episodes to conclude this arc, right? So let's say they said, okay, so we need 18 episodes to tell the story, and like, well, they're only giving us 12, right? So another anime company might say, or studio might say, okay, well, let's trim the fat, let's chop some episodes, maybe leave out the whole mannequin thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's bring it down so we can tell an arc in 12 stories. And then stuff gets left on the floor, stuff never gets told, and that kind of stuff annoys me. Yeah. So I would rather I'm okay. I would rather you do it this way, so that way I get to see everything, in all honesty.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they opted not to, discard things, and they kept the whole series in its integrity.
Yeah.
If that's the case. But no matter what.
But you know what made me upset, though? Is that if it only needs 2 more episodes to resolve this storyline.
Oh, that would suck.
And we could have gotten rid of those two episodes of the mannequins. Get rid of those 2 episodes and finish this part, because this was more interesting. If I didn't see these episodes, I wouldn't have missed it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Unless those mannequins like play some sort of major
part later on.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it almost seemed like it was like some kind of like a sea story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Not even, So.
But I mean, I don't know what the future holds for them.
Right.
I mean, they were funny. I mean, I loved seeing him when he was running the first time, and I thought the animation was great, where he's running and he catches up with whatever his name is.
Yeah, Otakuru.
Yeah, and then he just pushes him aside as he's running.
He's running.
The animation was great in it. He's just like, you're trash. Go.
And that great scene where he jumps over right in the sunlight and it goes ding.
Yeah, that's I saw that coming.
I saw it coming, but I was like, I like what you're doing though.
Yeah, I like what you're doing. Carry on.
Yeah, he had to spread his legs and jump over her. Yeah, that's great timing. But so that's pretty much all I had about that. I wasn't wowed by it like I wanted to be.
Sure.
But
that wasn't
that's just who I am at this point, I think, with anime, and that ending didn't help.
True.
Yeah. So.
So you want to rate this bad toy?
Yeah. So unfortunately, I'm on the lower end, not the lower end, but just not very high. I'm probably sitting like a real straight, like a 75, maybe. It's like a 75, 73. Like it's funny.
Yeah.
I think that if I didn't watch this show, But this is weird, but I knew what it was about. I wouldn't feel like I missed out. You know what I mean? Like if I had a chance to go back.
I see.
And like knowing,
okay.
I don't think I'd feel like I missed out on not seeing the show.
That's an interesting way to think of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's always, kind of the thing. Like, oh man, I wish I had seen this sooner, or I wish I had seen it.
Yeah, I wish I would have seen it in real time with everybody else and enjoyed it with everybody else.
Right,
like,
right.
It hasn't changed my life much in the entertainment space,
Got it.
So I think I wouldn't have felt like I missed much. So like this is like an average for me, like a 75, let's say, somewhere in there. As far as R rating, I wouldn't say, I don't want to go as far as saying meh, but like a very low stream it. Like add it to your list, watch it after you've watched like all the main ones you want to see. Like, watch Penguin first, watch the shows that are good that you want to get out of the way. And then on one of the days it's like, oh, I watched everything I wanted to watch. What else can I see? Let's check out Dandadan. That would be where I'm at with it. Like a very low stream it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't see. Yeah, no, I get that point. I didn't see anything that was, that kind of like was jaw dropping. And again, maybe it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be like kind of funny and as far as like a number, I'm probably gonna give it like, if I was gonna give it a low number, I might give it an 80.
Okay.
Because I was still entertained by it. I did still laugh. All the little silly things and jokes that they did in it. It's like, okay, I get it. And I feel like it wasn't that bad as far, compared to other animes, of the same, genre kind of thing that, I don't want to call it a romance. It's not that kind of thing, but awkward teen trying to get the girl kind of thing. It's, I still like the story, so if I was going to give it a low number, I might give it an 80. Maybe at the top, I might give it like an 83, maybe.
Okay.
So I still enjoyed it. As far as like, again, like our score, stream it. It's a really good point. Like you're not going to see anything that's going to really like change your life kind of thing. You know what I mean? Or nothing's going to be like, oh, this is an anime. I'm going to, you know what I mean? Like I can still talk about Attack on Titan. I can talk about that like, to the ends of the earth kind of thing. Because it was that good of a show, that great of an opener, with season 1 or episode 1, in my opinion. But there's nothing like that in this, unfortunately. But I think overall, though, it's still funny. The characters are, I don't know, the characters feel maybe I don't know. They're not like your stereotypical characters. Which I like that too. So I give them credit for having originality in that sense.
Yeah, some layers to them. Yeah, if not tweaking those tropes a little bit, like the popular girl, a little bit of a heart, the super handsome guy, super goofball. They had like a lot of layers to those tropey characters.
Right.
At the very least.
Yeah. So that I did enjoy. So I would say have it on your list. Stream it. I get you're saying too, like at the top of the list, maybe not so much, but it might be worth checking out just so you know what the hype's all about, and then you can kind of make that decision for yourself.
Yeah.
Whether you're into this or not. But I overall though, I still did enjoy the show. It's the best anime I've seen in a while. No, it's killing me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But still here.
Yeah, definitely.
Still here.